What I see happening on YouTube today is illustrated very well by this photograph. Now, how did I even find this photograph? I don't play any of these video games. None of this is part of my life. I don't own a Nintendo Switch. But the one video you see there that got 27,000 views in less than 2 days, that video was recommended to me by YouTube. And there were no politics involved here. It's not a political issue. And there's nothing sexy about the video or its thumbnail. It's not like this one video has a woman in a bikini in it, and there are no other factors here, okay? Why was this video advertised to me? I've never seen this channel before. I've never heard this guy's name before. It wasn't a paid advertisement. Why did this appear on the front page of YouTube for me and not any of his other videos? One of the strangest and most persistent myths on the internet is the idea that success arises spontaneously and anonymously, that it can happen to anyone at any time, sort of like lightning striking you when you walk through a field. And obviously, in a subjective and emotional sense, it must sometimes feel this way. Somebody uploads a video and it just seems that for no reason at all, it becomes a smash hit. It's become very common, both in the political critique of YouTube and in the sort of positive celebration of YouTube, to claim that videos rising to public prominence is the result of an algorithm, a depersonalized, automatic, computational system of numbers programmed into a computer somewhere. I'd invite you to just pause for a minute before we go further in this video and reflect on how rarely in your own life you used to use the word algorithm. Just a few years ago, people started saying this all the time about the internet. Now, not everything on the internet is created and controlled by an impersonal algorithm. A very large part of what we perceive and receive on the internet is curated content. And that just means a human being somewhere in an office sitting at a computer made the decision about what would and would not appear in your Facebook feed, in your Twitter feed, on the front page of YouTube, right? And I think that we're all playing a game of collective self-deception in imagining that these things are decided by an algorithm. Now, really brief parallelism to what's going on YouTube today. There was a pretty short period, maybe 2 years maximum, when the website Tumblr was really popping, was really popular. I would say it was maybe even 6 months when it was really super, super successful. And in Tumblr, there were a number of hashtags. They don't really operate the same way as a hashtag on Twitter, or they didn't at that time. When you put in a hashtag at that time on the website, you would get a category and then a listing of new things being posted to that category. And one of them was like humor. Another one was black and white, just for black and white photography. And what I found out, to my surprise, as I looked into it, was that many of these hashtags were curated. And they had an active program whereby there'd be just 1 or 2 employees at the company who would then select people, just normal people use the website, they would select people to be curators on a volunteer basis. So basically, you started off with just a couple members of staff who would then reach out to people who seem to show good taste or good judgment on the website and say, hey, would you mind if we give you this role, just like being a moderator, and you can then nominate or post things to this hashtag so it appears. So I was really intrigued by this, and I started looking into it. And of course, what I found was that most people believed this was meritocracy. Most people believed that if you made a joke and it appeared in the humor hashtag, and then many thousands of people saw it, or at least many hundreds of people saw it, that this really reflected some merit on your part with the joke. And of course, many people had this view that it was just like lightning striking in the middle of a field, that it was something random and unexpected. Now, 27,000 views in 2 days is a lot of views, but it's really significant to note that the number of views he has in the videos before and after are dramatically lower, just about 1,000 people, 1,200 people, so on and so forth, right? And if you take a look at his lowest performing video, his video with the fewest views of a week ago, that gives you a sense of the size of his core audience. So how many people will watch every video he uploads, assuming it's a kind of normal video, that it's on topic? Only 675 viewers. So I'm not saying this to criticize the guy at all. I have nothing against him, nothing against his channel. Okay, there is no way I can look at this channel and think that it's a quote-unquote organic phenomenon. There's no way I can look at this channel and think that it's a kind of spontaneous or random phenomenon. One, that this particular video, just one of his videos in this series, got 27,000 views in less than 2 days, whereas all the other videos he's put up for more than a month before that. So we're looking here at a month worth of uploads. They're all just reaching small numbers of viewers, right? And then there's one video stands out. And moreover, this one video appears on the front page, my front page, when I'm using YouTube. I have never played Zelda Breath of the Wild, never in my life. I have never owned a Nintendo Switch. I've never used a Nintendo Switch. There's no reason why this one video would appear for me. And if in general his channel were doing well in terms of the so-called algorithm, this impersonal automatic system of computing numbers, then one of those other videos would have shown up on my feed before. I would have seen it on the front page before. So I think we live in an era when people have a bit of a comforting delusion that the difference between success and failure here on YouTube is either some kind of intrinsic personal merit, or is just random, like lightning striking. That there's an algorithm, there's a magical machine that's crunching numbers and selecting these videos on an unknown and impersonal basis. On my channel, I think in the history of this channel, I have only once had a video go above 100,000 views. And this is the suspicious part. That video went over 100,000 views instantly, like in just a couple of days. Huge number of viewers right away. My channel is very small. There's no organic explanation for why that happened. The other videos I've had that had many, many views, like more than 10,000 views, I could see that it was organic. I could see the process of people finding the video, and it took time. To give an example, I have a video that gave advice on how to do well on an intelligence test, a specific intelligence test, and the link was first shared on one discussion forum, and a few people came, and then it was shared on another discussion forum, and at first I got some negative feedback. People didn't like the video, and then over time, people shared the link, other people who were writing the test. It was consistently gaining an audience, but not overnight. I could see that was organic from person to person, okay? YouTube is not a meritocracy, and it's not the product of a mindless algorithm. When you come on YouTube, you are looking at curated content. The advertisements that appear to you on Facebook in your feed, likewise, are not random. Sure, there's some role for an algorithm in making the work of employees at Facebook more efficient so that they can employ a smaller number of people and they can make the decisions more rapidly and so on and so forth. Sure. But when we're looking at success on YouTube now, when we're looking at videos that get tens of thousands of views in a short period of time that just happen to appear on the front page of YouTube, it's not happening randomly. Human beings are making those decisions, and sometimes they're making those decisions for political reasons. I do believe that in the case of Faraday Speaks, who's a nice guy, I think his one video went viral, the first video he uploaded, when he had 0 followers on YouTube. I believe that went viral. I believe that was promoted, and it appeared on my front page, it appeared on so many people's front page. I believe that was promoted initially as an intentional decision made by some editor, some curator at YouTube, the same way an editor of a newspaper chooses an article to put it on the front page. And they did that because it had a political message that was about YouTube that they wanted to promote. And my video that went over 100,000 views so quickly, so suspiciously, that video also had a specific message about YouTube, a message that YouTube wanted to promote.